Hello YouTube, it's Sam. It is Thursday, August 23rd, 2012, and that puts me at 2 years on testosterone. That's insane. So I thought that I would make a short video, even though I don't really feel like making a video. I thought for the sake of being consistent, I would. The reason I don't feel like making one is because I don't have very much to say. I said a lot of it when I made the 1-year post-op top surgery video.
So I decided I'm going to sing the Oscar Mayer Baloney song to test out my voice. So here's the Oscar Mayer Baloney song for 1 month on T. My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name, it's M-E-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day, and if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name, it's M-E-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day, and if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A. Yeah, basically things are good. I feel healthy. I feel happy. I feel pleased with my decision. I was looking back at some photos of myself from 2 years ago, and it's interesting because I don't think that I looked that dramatically different, but there's little subtle changes. And like, obviously my hair is different and my glasses are different, but other than that, like the shape of my face is very subtly different. And it's interesting because those are the things that strangers pick up on when they're like reading me in a split second, male or female. I get read 99% of the time as male now, and I don't think I look that drastically different. So I think it's really interesting. Some big things. I changed my name legally, like I said, and I've finally gotten into the process of changing it with various government agencies and things like that. So today I went to the bank and I'm gonna get a new card and new checks, and I went to the library and I'm gonna do the passport soon. And it was really interesting because I went to Gender Odyssey and then I went to Michigan to see some family, and it was the first time traveling with a license that felt like me. And so I strongly recognized my passing privilege, and I had the #1 easiest airport experience of my life. Because really, even younger, when I didn't have gender things, the airport's hard. So yeah, the easiest traveling experience of my life. The guy just looked at the thing, looked at my license, looked at my boarding pass, glanced at me, handed it back, said, "Have a nice day, sir." So I genuinely appreciate and recognize that privilege, because the airport is a hard place, and I really liked not being freaked out. What else? So I saw family for the first time since any hormones or anything, and that went really well. One of the biggest things was that my aunt gave me a big hug and then like held my cheeks in her hands and stared at me for 10 seconds and then said, "You're still the same person." And I said, "Yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm still the same person. I'm still me." And that seemed to make her feel better, and was her way of acknowledging that this is what it is and she feels okay about it. There's a piece of crap on the lens. No, there isn't. It's a glare. Okay, so family was really interesting. Also, swimming on vacation. I didn't wear a shirt, and I ended up going swimming by myself, except there was this little girl there who was staying at the place next to us, and she was showing me all about minnows. They're actually not minnows. I can't remember the name of a small fish. Anyone? Anyway, and at the end of it, she was walking back to her place with her mom, and I heard her say, "I showed that guy all about fish." And I was like, that's cool. I've got scars. They're pretty obvious, but she didn't know what they meant, and that didn't mean anything to her, which was a really nice reminder that if people don't know about trans things, they're not going to be looking for scars. And if someone asked, I could always say, I had surgery. It's personal or whatever. Like, you don't really have to tell people why you had surgery. So, that was good. And when I went to Gender Odyssey, it was really interesting because I went to the usual things that I go to, which are the genderqueer track, and then I realized that I feel like I'm in more of a mentor role in those spaces, and what would be more useful for me personally would be to push myself to go to other types of workshops. So I went to a workshop about being in cis male space and how to deal with that, and I thought that that was really interesting. And my question for them was, how are you authentically yourself and at the same time fitting into cis male space? And the big answer that I got was just give it time and just be yourself. And there's all different ways of being a man or male, and you don't have to pretend to be anything you're not. And that was comforting, yet also tricky, because it means it's going to take some time for that to fall into place. So that was interesting. And I guess the only other thing, I mean, I can show you my chest really quick. I showed it to you whenever that was, like a month ago. I don't know if I'm standing far enough back. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm going to move back a little bit. So this is my chest. I had top surgery with Dr. Garamoni on July 12th, 2011. So it's been a year and a little bit, and I'm very pleased with it. And even though I lost a nipple, I have an areola, and the scars are fading nicely, I'm using bio oil, which was recommended by a couple people. I don't know if you guys know about this, but this is a really nice product, and it seems to be working, and it doesn't smell gross. So I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm extremely happy with it. Very rarely will I have a moment where I freak out for a second. I go, oh my God, I can't believe I did something so permanent to my body. And then I just as quickly feel fine, and I say to myself, I'm so much happier now than I was before. And it's true. Seriously, I love just sleeping in boxer shorts, or like walking around the house in a pair of shorts, or whatever. It's so freeing, it's so wonderful, and I'm so grateful. So chest is good. Yeah, so the only other thing that I really wanted to talk about is that in terms of identity stuff, the word genderqueer is starting to feel less resonant with me. And the word male still doesn't feel that great, but I'm recognizing that in the broad spectrum of what male can encompass, I can see myself fitting into that. And so it's not a declaration that I'm like dying to say or anything, but I feel like it's, and I've said it for a while, it's shifting in that direction. So I'm very intrigued to see as time goes on how that progresses. And again, I don't feel like the stereotypical man. I don't, the social construction of masculinity doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just a broadened category box that I can see myself fitting into more comfortably than I did before. And it's interesting. So it's something that I'm still working through. Also, at Gender Odyssey, I went to a workshop about how hormones affect your brain. And that's really interesting. And I could make a whole video about that. If people want me to, let me know. I will try to summarize. But a big thing about it is that it does change your brain. Hormones affect certain structures in the brain and change the shape and the size to be that of the sex with the cross hormones that you're going towards. So it just makes sense. And so it frightens me a little to think, oh, that's why I feel more comfortable identifying almost as male, that because of something in my brain that I'm not controlling. But at the same time, I think that that must have some part to do with it. But what I'm more comfortable feeling and thinking about it is that I'm just broadening that definition. I'm living in this role. I'm getting used to passing. It feels it doesn't feel scary anymore. It feels comfortable. It feels good. So, for what it's worth, male is something I'm thinking about more. Notice how it's been forever and I still won't accept it. Even though my definition of the word female is really broad, the word male is still really hard for me to emotionally fit myself into. Intellectually, I get it. Like that makes sense. But emotionally, I still have a little bit of a block, and I feel like over time, that's something that I'll probably ease into. And I feel that happening, but I'm not ready to commit. So there. Yeah, so I guess that's all. I'm on the same dose. My friend still does me in the butt once a week. I still don't do it myself. I'm intrigued by subcutaneous, but haven't tried it. I'm really interested to see about Nebido, and hoping that someday Nebido is available in the US so that I can get like 4 shots a year and call it a day. I'm considering in the future hysterectomy and thinking about that, and it worries me to be on hormones forever and dependent, and what if the supply runs out or something? So that's a little concern for me. And also, I don't particularly feel like having more surgery anytime soon, but it's something that I'm starting to think about. Because of the whole having organs in you that you're not using, and decay and breaking down and all of that. Also, if I get the organs taken out, they don't have to be checked at the doctor once a year, and I would really like that. So, just thinking. Other than that, it's the summertime. Well, it's the end of the summertime. The semester is starting up. I'm not taking any classes this semester. I'm just going to be teaching a class and working on my thesis, and hopefully looking for jobs. So anyway, that is all. I hope that everyone is doing really well in YouTube land, and I'll make an update when I feel like it, or send me a question, and I'll make a video. And if people want me to talk about the brain thing, just let me know, because I think that'd be really interesting. Okay, cool. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.